Welcome to the Building Up Women in Property podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Bangura, and I'm thrilled to have you here with me today. This podcast is for ambitious women who work in property and construction who want to learn how to have a career they love on their terms. Join me every week where I'll leave you excited and confident to take your next steps. Thanks for being here with me. Now let's get started. Hello, thank you for being here today. Today we are talking with dealing with adversity at work. Now, this is not a popular topic in terms of none of us like to have adverse situations at work. It is never pleasant to be in these difficult situations. But the truth is, we will all find ourselves in these spots at times, and we really need to know how to navigate these and how to use these situations to empower us and to move confidently forward rather than feeling helpless about how we move forward. So I'm going to start by talking about how these adverse situations can show up for you, but also I want to give you the steps to work through so that you can move forward with confidence. So adversity might show up for you as a conflict at work. It may be a difficult conversation or certain behaviors that you're not comfortable with. It might be uncertainty around your job. It could be that you're struggling to get ahead in your career and you're not sure how to move forward. Or it could be a bad boss or a difficult colleague or client. These can all be really unpleasant situations and difficult to navigate. But I think first and foremost, we need to acknowledge that there is no escaping adversity. There will always be these uncomfortable scenarios that we find ourselves in, and that is just part of life. It is part of work. It will not always be sunshine and roses, and nor do we really want it to be. If everything is always going along smoothly and we never face any difficulty or any challenges, it probably means that we are playing small. We are staying in a very safe comfort zone and we are never pushing the boundaries to create excellence and to do something remarkable. If we are always in an environment that is always comfortable and super supportive, it means we probably don't have a great deal of diverse thinking. And I think that's really important just to acknowledge that if we want to have a big, impactful career, adversity is part of that. It is a necessary part of our own growth, our own development, and of creating new ways of doing things. It is a necessary part of doing something big. And the reality in life is that half the time things are positive, half the time things are negative. As a general rule, it's like 50-50 of life. And we need to be willing to take the downside along with the upside. Or we need to be able to take those downhills along with the uphills and see it as part of our own journey. And I think once we just accept that adversity happens sometimes we have these uncomfortable situations, we stop resisting it. Right? We start to actually expect these situations to come up. Because quite often what I see from my own experience and with my clients is a difficult situation comes up. There is some adversity that crops up and it blindsides us. We're not expecting it. So suddenly we feel wiped out by it. It drains our energy and we find ourselves being stuck or spiraling. And that is not a place that allows us to really think about the situation critically, to make good decisions. It is not a place that empowers us to move forward. And that is what we are always trying to do in those moments. So if you find yourself dealing with a challenge, dealing with something that feels hard and uncomfortable, just be open to accepting that this is part of the job. This is part of life. And focus your energy on how to move forward rather than dwelling in the discomfort for too long. So once we accept that this is part of the human existence, this is part of our careers, that there will be adversity and there will be challenges, what I want you to do is actually really think about what are the facts of this situation. Get really clear and specific on what the challenges are. What are the issues you are facing? And this will require you to really think about, is this an issue from the past that is still haunting me? And this may be where you've had a conflict or a confrontation with a colleague in the past. And so that experience is now informing all your interactions with them moving forward. It's actually where we're bringing the past experience into the present moment and we are feeling angst and discomfort around that because of those previous interactions. So that's one way it might show up. Another way it will show up is that you are fearing something in the future. So you are feeling discomfort around your own self-doubt or your own ability to show up and deliver on something. And so you're so worried about what might go wrong that you forget to be present in the moment and actually address the situation for what it is and then make choices that support you. Or it may be that there are just differing points of view or different desired outcomes, and you need to navigate those requirements and those desires and those positions with some grace and with some tact in order to achieve the best outcome for you or for your organization or the best outcome for the relationship. So get really clear on what is the situation and what is causing the anxiety or the stress or the difficulty, and put it down as the facts. What has actually happened? What is the situation right now? And think about what is the desired outcome. What would a win look like in this situation? And quite often, there might be lots of potential wins. There's lots of different ways to, reach a similar outcome. So think about as many of them as you possibly can. So get clear on the facts and then get clear on the options for resolution as you see them. Now, the truth is, you probably won't think of all of the options. None of us ever do. And that's why we actually need to work with other people quite often to reach amicable solutions. But just get your brain thinking not just about the problem, but also about the solutions. So you start to become more solutions focused in that moment. And that's really important for our own thinking. It means we are shifting gears. We are taking control and we are taking ownership to move through this muck, through this difficulty to create a desirable outcome. Now, next, I want you to think about who do you want to be in this moment? Now, as I said before, if you want to have a big career, you need to acknowledge that adversity will be part of it. And leaders are made by how they handle difficult situations. If everything is always sunshine and roses, then you never get to see who you really are. You never test yourself. You never get to prove what you are capable of. So these adverse situations are actually a moment for you to really develop your skills, to get clear on your values. And it requires a level of emotional mastery to be able to move through those uncomfortable feelings, those horrible emotions that come with these difficult situations in order to step up and create a different outcome. It requires that personal growth. So think about, who do you want to be in this situation? How do you want to show up? Because what usually happens is we are confronted by something that we don't like, something that is not our desired outcome, and we get our backs up. And this happens to all of us. It's not any individual, but we instinctively become defensive. We start to gain evidence for why our position is right and the other person or the other party are wrong. That's a natural instinct. But when we make the decision that we are going to be someone that approaches this situation with kindness, we can start to see the other person's perspective. We can start to broaden our understanding of the complexities of the situation, and we can start to think about things differently. And it is okay in this moment to feel your emotions, to feel pissed off, to feel angry, to feel resentful, whatever the things are that come up for you. It's okay to feel those, but let it be a moment in time. Do not allow yourself to stay stuck in those negative emotions, because all it will do is eat you up. It will actually hinder your ability to move out of this situation because you are so stuck dwelling in that negativity. And the truth is, to get the outcome you want, you need to shift gears. You need to have a more open mind to create workable solutions. So it's okay to feel all those feelings, but don't hold on to them. Allow yourself to then reframe your thinking, to decide you are going to be a person that is someone who works through these situations. Allow yourself to be curious and start to explore the situation from another lens. Allow yourself to have a generous approach with your thinking and with other people involved in this situation so that you can start to explore other ideas, other perspectives, other solutions, so that you can work through this and come out on top, right? And come out feeling confident and proud of who you are. Because ultimately, that's what matters most. It's about who you show up as. And do you leave this situation when it's all done and dusted and when everything is settled? Are you proud of how you showed up and what you achieved given the difficulties of that situation? And the reality is, most of the time in adverse situations, we do not leave the situation skipping away, joyful, and everyone has had a win. Usually it is a matter of compromise. So you might win on some things and lose on others, but What is crucial to having those meaningful conversations is how you show up and how willing you are to engage to find the best outcome you can and to approach the challenge from a place of curiosity and compassion and grace. And I know that it takes a bit of time to get to feeling those things, but we need to give ourselves that space and keep coming back to, who do I want to be in this situation? What will make me proud? What aligns with the type of person, the type of leader I want to be? Because going through this process, dealing with adversity, dealing with conflict, dealing with the hard, yucky stuff, this is what will make you great. This is what builds character. This is what personal growth is about. It's about dealing with the hard stuff, not just the good stuff.
I hope you've been enjoying the episode. I wanted to take a moment to let you know about my free Career Confidence Masterclass. This is for ambitious career-orientated women who are ready to stop playing small and to confidently create a career you love. Head over to my website, beautifuldisruptions.com, for more info. Now let's get back to the episode.
And once you get through this, you will build your confidence. You will expand what you see as possible for you to deal with. You will build your resilience. You will build your self-concept. You will build your confidence. And that is necessary if you want to grow your career, if you want to be a leader. So see this as the opportunity for you to grow. And another way I've heard this spoken about, which I have found personally really helpful, is, why has this happened to me? Like, what is that growth opportunity for me? What will I gain from this experience? And once you work through that, it really gives you that clarity on who you are going to be in this moment. And it allows you to process those emotions and keep moving up in terms of the positivity that you feel. So think about, what is the learning opportunity for you here? What is that personal growth that you need to go through? And what skills will you be building in the process of resolving this challenge and working through this adversity and this difficulty? And once we allow ourselves to feel all the negative feelings, we actually can get ourselves to a state where we are detached from the outcome. So it stops being about us personally. It stops being an affront to who we are or what we are doing or a reflection on us or our value. And we can start to see the issues for what they are. And we can start to hold space for solutions and new ways to move forward. And that is so important, because once we realize it isn't about us as an individual, it's not a personal reflection on us, we let go of our own self-worthiness and we start to see those solutions. We start to approach the difficult situation with new possibility, with new thinking, and with fresh perspective. And we allow ourselves to think outside of the box and be open to new ideas that can create a better outcome. And then the final part is to really get clear on what you can control. What is within your realm of management? What do you have influence over in this situation? And then make decisions from that place and start taking action. And this is so important. We need to take action. We can't all just be constantly in our heads when things are going wrong. When we become clear on what we're responsible for and what our influence and our ability is to solve this, we start to tap into other resources around us. Do we need other support? And what might that look like? You may or may not have contributed to this situation, or there might be a solution that just sits beyond your ability. But what we want to do is really take the control, take the ownership of this situation so that we can start to move forward. We can tap into other resources. We can tap into other people's knowledge and insights and experience. We can get the guidance and support we need, and we can be open-minded to finding solutions. And doing that is what empowers us. It's what allows us to grow and work through difficulties in a meaningful way that actually builds us up rather than knocks us down. In these moments of difficulty, of adversity, of conflict, we get to intentionally show up as the best version of ourselves. We get to take control of that. We get to rise above the circumstances we're in and actually control our emotions and our thinking and elevate our response so that we can move through this, so that we don't stay stuck dwelling on all the things that have gone wrong. Instead, we start moving forward. We build that self-concept. We work towards desirable outcomes, and we don't waste our energy beating ourselves up or being angry at other people. Instead, we move forward. And that is the key always to any adverse situation is to really allow ourselves to move through it. So I'm going to leave it there, but I want you to know if you are dealing with challenges, remember these are not personal. This is part of the process. It is part of work. It is part of life. And use this opportunity to define who you want to be, how you want to show up, and create a new way forward for yourself. Because these are the moments that define who you are. And in the future, you'll look back being proud of how you dealt with this situation. And that is the most important thing. To be able to look back at this and not have regrets about how you handled it, to feel like you dealt with a bad situation in the most positive way possible. And the sooner we allow ourselves to work through it, the sooner we get out on the other side and we can start to forge ahead. Okay, my beautiful, I want you to remember you are capable of dealing with the challenges, and it is necessary for your growth. It is necessary for your development and to step up and be the leader you dream of. So keep coming back to, who do I want to be in this situation? What am I learning from this? How am I growing? And keep showing up in a way that is authentic and true to who you are right now and who you want to be. Okay, my beautiful, you've got this. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you for joining me on the Building Up Women in Property podcast. I'm Rebecca Bangura, and if you'd like to learn more about what I do, head over to LinkedIn and connect with me. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.